We are back with the Buffalonian podcast for the first one of 2026. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, it's playoff time in the NFL. The Bills are in at the 6th seed. They're heading to Jacksonville this weekend. The backups played a hell of a game against the New York Jets last weekend. Sweet Baby Ray, a lot of people got their incentives, so we have a lot to talk about. But before we do dive into playoff seeding and all of the important stuff where, our blood pressure is going to spike pretty heavily in the next couple weeks.
Sunday at 1
Sunday at 1 p.m. What were your thoughts just on the red helmets, the end of Highmark Stadium, right? It was the final game, most likely, right? There's still
a path,
one avenue that one alley, we could
say,
one scenario that's alive where they could possibly still take they could host an AFC Championship against the Chargers. So it's the only possibility of them hosting another game at Highmark. But for the most part, the celebration, the coins, the song Iris at the end, right? The Goo Goo Dolls. It was a great, I think, send off, and I would rather have had it in a game like that, I think, than losing in a playoff game and then forgetting about the stadium means so much. And sure. I don't know. What about you? What do you think? Like it was a pretty good night, right?
It's a pretty good night. I think it's a tiny bit unfortunate that potentially the greatest player in franchise history plays one snap, right? And rightfully so. I mean, why would Josh play any longer than that? But
right.
I guess that was the one thing that might be unfortunate. But yeah, I thought the red helmets. Obviously, I was there in the press box. They looked awesome. I looked a little bit of the highlights on YouTube, so I saw like the TV copy looked cool too. So yeah, I mean it's one of those things that we were talking about in the press box about like when the Sabres got back to maybe some tradition of the royal blues. It's like, wow, these are just a big upgrade, and then also with the the red and black as well.
Yeah, the throwbacks.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. I said this to people. I was like, I don't know if I need this to be regular. Like, I don't need this to be like their every helmet, But I think what the Sabres had done with the red and black, I think, why can't the Bills 2 or 3 games a year at home wear their red helmets?
It'd be nice, right? If you're on video, you can see the one I'm holding here. I wore this at work the day after in hopes that it could, spur them to do it. The new ones, though, look clean. That's a lot brighter red, everything, and the new style of helmet too. But yeah, it was really cool. I really like the uniform change, just something different. The Bills, for the longest time, after the navy blue jerseys, did absolutely nothing different with their kits. It was just blue and white, right? Like it was the base. And then you got the color rush, and you're like, cool. And then they got old quick. And now they're wearing candy cane versions of the color rush. So, like, to see the old 90s version of the helmet, not the one with the navy blue stripe, it was pretty cool. Yeah. I liked it. So, it was a good send-off for Highmark Stadium. As mentioned, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls did play at the end. An emotional tribute. A lot of players stayed on the field, Trey White included, got a little emotional watching it. Just,
I mean, it was one of those things where it's a little different for us. Right, we're 02 babies.
Yeah,
so,
we're drought, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was saying that to my dad. I was like, I'm sad that the stadium is leaving. I have such great memories, of my first game when they did lose, funny enough, to the Jacksonville Jaguars and David Garrard. So, or Cam Newton and E.J. Manuel having that last second touchdown to TV. Like I was going back with my dad. I was like, yeah, that's some really awesome moments. The playoff moments too of Mark Andrews dropping the ball.
Mark Andrews, the perfect game at Highmark. I remember watching that from the garage.
Who could forget?
The win game.
The win game.
The win
I
bowl.
was thinking about that because I was talking to my dad. I was like, yeah, I don't know how many times I've like just gone with like someone outside of like my dad to a game. Like
we don't have a good track record.
But I was like, I remembered. I was like, oh, wait, I forgot to go to Joe. How could I forget? Joe and I used to bring that game up all the time.
Never before mentioned on the podcast before. We went to the win game where Mac Jones threw 3 passes, completed 2.
One of the worst passes that somehow got caught by Jonnu Smith.
Yeah,
life.
Yeah, Damian Harris ran 53 times, and we laughed about how that's such an old strategy. How does that work in today's NFL? And then James Cook did it a couple weeks ago against the Steelers, and they murdered him. So, it's an interesting turn of events we've seen. But sending off the stadium in style like that, a big win for the backups, 35-8. Mitch Trubisky had a Josh. If you looked at a quick glance and you saw that stat line, 22 of like 29, something like that, almost up 300 yards, like 259 yards, something like that. You're just thinking to yourself, was Josh Allen playing in this football game? And then Ray Davis, you would think, was James Cook after he padded 15 yards onto his rushing stats, which he pretty much, I mean, it would have been
Not quite
single
needed, but
digits,
yeah.
if not. It would have been. We would have been sweating that one out with Derrick
Well,
Henry.
we already were sweating,
Right.
that one out. But yeah, it was one of those situations where you get to see the depth of the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much you could really take away from the perspective of the Jets just seem to have quit.
Yeah.
So it's
They're
not,
definitely not playing for their coach at all.
So that was unfortunate to see, to be honest, because he wanted to be kind of competitive, maybe. But Ray Davis, I just think that kickoff return touchdown from the Texans game really changed the season, and he's become a better returner of kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Really been an asset in special teams, and has found it. Can run the ball. I know he's probably not going to get that many carries still because it's a lot going to go to James Cook. This is money time, and Ty
Right.
Johnson's the third down back. But it's funny. It's the opposite of Keon, right?
Yeah.
Of we talk about how with Keon now it's like,
No, he didn't lock himself in the dog cage.
well, it's like it's like, you're not going to really have a role on offense. What are you giving us
Mhm.
outside on like special teams? And you see that with Ray Davis. It's like, all right, like the reason why Ray Davis will get a jersey, even though he was probably not going to get that many touches even in the playoff run coming up, is that he is an important to their kickoff return game that's
Yeah.
been successful. Like
Right.
maybe Keon, like not having a role on special teams, like you're not going to play.
Mhm.
Like you're not going to be active.
Right.
Because on offense, they've shown that they don't really trust you to play and all that, and you don't give them value on special teams. But Ray Davis has shown that you can make a case that he's been an all-pro kick returner. I think he's going to get some votes. He led the league in kick return yard average return. So, and now all of a sudden you see the flashes still at running back. This is a guy that we thought last year, like in the offseason, we're like, do we pay James Cook because we could maybe just roll with a cheaper version of just Ray, and not as good as James Cook, but maybe he could give you some production. That looked really bad the first half of the year.
It did look very bad.
Really, he was averaging like 2 yards a carry. Now he averaged 7 yards a carry on 25 carries, I think, or something around there for the game. Like that was 150 yards rushing. Like he's found a role on this team.
We were questioning what happened to the running back room last year because it was basically a 3-man room. James Cook was leading it still, but those two guys, Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, were able to step in there and really take over, right, when they had to.
Be efficient when
This year, the beginning of the
that.
season, I was like, okay, is this just James Cook? We don't have any depth in the running back room. And then they woke up mid-season, both of those guys. So, yeah, it was really good to see that. And Ty Johnson now on the injury report and not practicing. So we'll get to that. But, yeah, it was a good end to the season. Another one where the Bills make the playoffs, the last of the AFC usual suspect juggernauts in there. And that's led to some of the, if not now, when for the Bills. No Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes. Just tiring talking head comments from the general media, the big media, your Colin Cowherd, Nick Wrights, everything like that. So I don't know. What do you think about that? I'm kind of a point was made, and I have to echo it because would it not be more of a if not now when for Denver, if not now when for Jacksonville, right? Like maybe not Jacksonville because they might be able to win their division for some time, but Houston's kind of knocking on the door if they figure out their offense, like for the division. The Chargers, the Chiefs, like I don't know, like the Patriots even, like if the Bills bounce back and are able to their schedule next year, and even though their opponents are a little tough right now, they should take advantage of they should be the ones taking advantage of this, right? The Bills are still here, and I think they'll continue to be.
I think it's a situation of people look at quarterbacks and don't look at teams. I think there are still really good teams left in the AFC, and I guess the frustrating thing is you feel like Bills teams of the past couple years would be the big favorite and the number one team in the field.
100%.
Right? You don't feel that way this year. You feel like they're mostly that they could be the best team, but they had to play like it, and we don't know, what type of Bills team's going to show up. So I think that's the frustration. I agree with you. I think the most pressure should be on like a team like Denver, because who knows if you win your division next year and you have the number one seed, and the only way you can go to the Super Bowl is if you lose at home.
Yeah.
Like that's guaranteed. So I think they're under more pressure. I mean, the Bills are the 6th seed. They're most likely going to have to win 3 straight road games, which is going to be really hard. and it's not a very likely outcome, right, for any team to make the Super Bowl because
No.
of the probabilities, right? So
Kansas City was able to do that, right? Or no, did they end up hosting the AFC Championship?
No, they won their first game at home. They were the 3 seed, and then they went to Buffalo, and then went
That's
to Baltimore.
right. It was the
So
divisional
it's a
round.
little different.
Yeah, a little bit
different.
Yeah, and Allen they've never won a road playoff game. So
no, so not since '92. So
yeah,
it's an uphill battle. And listen, the Bills have no one to blame for it but themselves.
mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I think we just all need to take a breath and realize that we know our team in our situation better than any of the national pundits.
Yeah.
Right. And
you notice how none of the national media or none of the local media, whether it be Channel 7, the radio stations, no one is bought into anything the national media is saying.
Listen, there's pressure on the Bills, right? And if you want to say there's still the most pressure on the Bills because of all the failures of year past, and this is another opportunity, and Josh Allen,
his career.
Listen, we might have just witnessed the last game, most likely, honestly, of Josh Allen's career in Buffalo at Orchard Park being under 30.
Yeah.
Right? He turns 30 in May. So, like, if you want to say that is more of a collective pressure than just this season.
Right, they got to be able to put it together.
Sure,
yeah.
I could agree with that, but at the end of the day, this is the NFL. These teams are good. Jacksonville is a really good football team. It's not going to be an easy game, and the Bills are going to have to play their best football.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows if they're up for it? I guess we're going to find out.
I guess so. And we're going to get into a little more on the Jacksonville matchup. We're going to take a quick timeout, though, for our sponsors. We'll be right back with more of the Buffalonian podcast right after this. Welcome back into the Buffalonian podcast, reminiscing on some Highmark memories, going through what the Bills, outlook on the playoffs, the AFC playoff picture in general. It's an interesting year, right? Like mentioned before, not a lot of the usual suspects in there, and the number 1 seed is the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix. So if you had that on your bingo card, I don't think we did. I mean, congratulations to you. But the Bills, as mentioned, heading to Jacksonville, probably one of the more complete teams in the conference.
Yeah.
And they're playing hot. They're rolling in hot.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a history. I do very quickly, though, have a Dom 5, a special Dom 5.
Okay, special.
But it's not I'm not going to do 5 takes.
Is it like a Dom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
This Jets game because it's boring. Other than I will say this. I think should they have not been playing Max Harrison, put someone else random out there, sure. But I don't know who the hell that would have been. Like, they just didn't have the depth to do it. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, that sucks. And I hate to say this, but like this guy, Max Harrison, is a very good football player, and has been playing really good. And I'm not trashing on him at all. The dude is your third outside cornerback. Like, I'm sorry, but in these type of games, you're usually your third outside cornerback plays. Now you can make a case that Darius Slay,
not
situation
here, yeah,
we could have had
losing Jamarcus Ingram.
But then my take is this: Trey White would have been in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Like Max Harrison still in the game. So I just think that's like whatever. And then you can say, oh, if that was
put
the case,
Coleman.
yeah, put Keon Coleman. It's like, okay, fine.
Everyone wants to see him as a cornerback anyway. Everyone's just campaigning for that in general.
I mean, he can't catch the ball anyway, so
I'm saying.
Play DB. But okay,
yeah.
A special Dom 5, because these are the 5 moments that I've been in attendance for in the old Highmark Stadium.
Oh, I might have to piggyback on this. Go ahead.
Honorable mentions too. I was at the 2017 Tampa Bay game where rookie Tre'Davious White got a game-winning forced fumble.
Yes, that's right.
They won, and then the longest play in NFL history happened where there's like 30 laterals for Tampa, whatever. And I was also at the Miami playoff game where that was easily the most stressed I've ever been as a Bills fan in my entire life. And I have vowed that while I have worked Bills playoffs games, I will no longer be going to Bills playoff game until they win the Super Bowl, because my heart was in my throat for the entire second half.
Yeah,
it was not an enjoyable viewing experience. And also to mention, I lost my phone for the entire second half. I did not know where it was. And we looked all around, and next thing you know, someone called me, and it was stuck on my ankle next to my snow pants.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, what are the odds?
That's tough. That's good.
That's
I mean,
tough.
It's good you found it.
Yeah.
It's good it didn't slide down 8 rows or something.
I know,
like
that's
that.
what I was like. But on number 5, Gabe Davis scoring a garbage time touchdown to beat the Carolina Panthers in 2021 My mom, my producer Mooch,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, and I were in attendance, and I was playing my dad in the fantasy playoffs, and I had Gabe Davis, and he had 2 touchdowns that game and was awesome, and I beat my dad, and I ended up winning the championship. So that was also Cam Newton, second time watching the Bills beat Cam Newton in a football game at home, which is weird to say because 8 years happened in between. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a fun game ish to beat because I think at that point I think the Bills are either 7-6 or 8-6. I can't remember. I think they were 7-6. I think it was off the Tampa Bay loss in 2021. So we were all really down the team. I think we had a conversation: should we fire McDermott? And then all of a sudden, 13 seconds happened, and then it was also should we fire McDermott? But number 4, the Bills beat the Finns in the snow game to win the division.
I was there.
Um,
That's when they were in the red jerseys,
yep.
right? Yeah.
They scored a touchdown with no time left in the first half because Josh pulled a Josh and didn't throw the ball away. But he found James Cook for a touchdown with literally no time remaining, or they wouldn't have got a field goal. And I just remember turning to my brother Jeremy, who I was in attendance to celebrate. And at that current moment, Jeremy decided to unfortunately get pelted by a snowball in the face.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! I love it. That was a good game. Yeah, that was the snowball game. That one was crazy. I remember that one.
Number 3, Mark Andrews dropping the game-tying 2-point conversion right in front of me to send the underdog Bills to the championship game. Yeah, that play happened right in front of us. Right after Lamar threw that touchdown pass, it was like, oh my god, like they've kind of come all the way back. They need this 2-point conversion, and I'm like, it was really uneasy because it was like the Bills' offense really hadn't been doing anything in the second half. I wasn't super confident they were going to be able to drive down the field and get into field goal range. I was like, oh my god, like this game goes to overtime. The Ravens are just a better football team. They've all the momentum, and Mark Andrews just dropped the ball. I have no words.
Yeah,
no words.
Yeah. No, it's a tough scene. A tough scene for Mark Andrews.
Number 2, the Josh Allen run on 4th and 2 to take out the undefeated Chiefs and have his iconic MVP moment.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I was like, this dude actually is going to win
the MVP.
The MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought that was only like halfway through the year, but I was like, this guy just has the moment that is going to be replayed time and time again, which is really cool. And also being the Chiefs is also a plus. And then my number 1 will always be my number 1. Stevie Johnson catching a game-winning touchdown from E.J. Manuel with 2 seconds left to beat Carolina 24-23 in 2014, and it was my first ever Bills win with my dad in attendance. And that was pretty amp.
I love it.
We thought E.J. was the guy.
Thought he was.
But that was a cool moment.
Yeah, I've got one to tack on. This is a drought memory. I posted about this one. In middle school, Dom, we had a breakfast cart which got created, right?
Really?
So that was my health class that did that, and that was the Fuel Up to Play 60 initiative. And we were able to we went to go practice with CJ Spiller, right, which was just crazy in itself. And my favorite player was Mario Williams. So there was this whole thing which we were able to do and run out of the tunnel with the Bills. This was 2014 home game. The Aaron Rodgers loses to Kyle Orton, where Aaron Rodgers was like a terrible game.
It was one of his worst games ever.
Yeah, Mario Williams obliterates him the entire game, and got to run Mario Williams high-fiving little me right there. So got to see that, and he was my favorite player at the time. He was the first Bills jersey I ever had. So I have a bunch more, pretty much of the ones that align with you. Just my favorite games to be at, but that is a memory I'll take away for a while. So Highmark Stadium, moving on, unfortunate, but got a lot of history to build in the lot across the street.
The place that Allen built.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, and let's just see what it looks like next season. I think it'll be awesome. I can't wait to. It moved on from sadness pretty quick to excitement for the building that is across the street. So.
For us, I would say.
For us. I know there are a lot of people who are a lot more sentimental
there
about it.
There are people that are like, another generation, their parents' generation that, that was they've been there for the whole time, that stadium. So I can understand why people would be like upset. But for us, I mean, again, like we're 02, the Bills are trashed the first 15 years of our lives. So like, it's really just been these 7 years, which is still nostalgia and, sad to all those memories. But it's like, okay, we have another 40 years of us
right
in the next stadium.
We're going to be absolutely fine. Yeah. It's going to be for the people who experience going to Ralph Wilson Rich Stadium for the first time. We're going to get that same experience. So I'm
really excited.
Time. Yeah. It's an exciting time. It's going to stick with us for a while.
I know this is completely off topic, but do you have a prediction for who is the first? They had to play
first touchdown scorer.
No, who they're going to play week 1.
Oh, who they'll play week 1?
Because I think
Well, it's not the Chiefs without Mahomes.
I will
I
bet
think it's the Patriots.
very good money that the Bills are. Well, first off, the Bills should be at home week 1.
Yeah.
Like regardless,
Could be in Australia if they don't win the Super Bowl.
Hey, they could if they win the Super Bowl. They could play. They're definitely playing Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they gonna put the Bills again on Sunday night?
They could. It could be Bills Patriots Sunday Night Football to open the season, a divisional game.
I do think that they're going to be prime time week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I just do because they're a big draw and that's the stadium opening.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see who they play. I don't know. It's interesting if they win the Super Bowl. Like who do they play? Like again, you said the Patriots. Like is it an NFC team? Is it Detroit?
Could be
is
Detroit.
It Chicago?
Could be the Bears. The Bears wouldn't be bad either. So it'll be interesting.
Is it Baltimore? New era in Baltimore?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, they did that. See, but the problem is
Wind up this year.
last year of that, and I don't think they'll do that again.
No, they won't. But yeah, I think
City?
the Patriots. No, not without Mahomes.
No, not
If
Mahomes.
Trubisky gets picked up by
No.
the Chiefs, it could be a Trubisky revenge game. So they
Herbert?
might put him there.
Herbert.
Herbert and the Chargers. If you end up playing them in the AFC Championship and you
Yeah.
bounce them or they bounce you, absolutely. I think that's you're playing the AFC West next year. So no matter what, you're playing them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I do think looking at those options, it's probably going to be the Patriots
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think they'll do the Ravens. The Chiefs, you're right, 100% right. Like they're not going to do that without knowing if Mahomes is going to play week 1.
Yeah.
Chargers is okay. Maybe they do NFC like the Lions. They did that. Maybe it's the Bears. I don't know.
It could be anything. It'll be interesting to see what we love the schedule release here on the Buffalo New Podcast. We do a special episode for that every year, so we're going to be all in on that as that comes. But looking to the matchup ahead as much as we can right now, we are going to do a betting on the Bills later in the week. Get back on that. Especially we can preview the rest of the playoff field on that as well. But Bills Jags as of right now, just before we head to the hockey team for a little bit. What's your stomach telling you? What's the gut feeling here? Are you nervous? What are we feeling like?
I'm nervous.
I'm very nervous. I think this is a very well put together, well coached team. Trevor Lawrence is not Trevor Lawrence you played last season and scored 4 touchdowns on at Buffalo in Orchard Park, right? Like that game it's not the same Jags team you should be expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be a tough matchup. And if they are able to take away the run, that's when I'm really pooping my pants and I'm a little scared. You got to hope. But then again, we were talking about it earlier. Denver was a great rush defense team last year, and they ran for like 200 yards on them. So, I mean, you never know. Any given Sunday, you get any version of any team. And I think that's the scary part for me. What Buffalo Bills are going to show up, right?
No, it's true. We don't
like,
know.
I can tell you that
17
what
games
Jaguars
in,
are showing up.
Well,
but we don't. Well, we think, right? I mean, Trevor Lawrence could have an all-time crash and burn. We don't know, but for the most part, there's a track record you can follow with the Jags this season. There's no track record with the Bills this season other than second half team for a good stretch.
I will say this though, there is a track record of what Bills team shows up in the playoffs.
Sure,
especially when they don't play Mahomes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I do think we could fall back a little bit on that. Like
Allen in the playoffs.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think you're 100% right. Like, this game is going to be won and lost at the line of scrimmage like any other football game. And I think it's important for the Bills to start quick. If they're able to start quick and they're able to get their ground game going and the whole game, they're two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They could play action. They could get the Titans involved. I think Kincaid could have a big-time game. I think they could have success against a solid Jaguars defense that doesn't really rush passer all that well. And, yeah, they have an elite rush defense. But, again, the Bills have had their wins and losses against elite run defenses. Like, New England in the beginning of the year, they didn't play that well. And, they didn't play that well against the Eagles running the ball. But against the Browns, they ran the ball pretty well. And that was a good run defense. So, I'm excited to see that. I think defensively, we'll see. I mean, it's weird to say. I don't really know what to expect with this Bills defense because it feels like they're surging on the second half of the year and they found, the identity with, White and Benford upping their games on the outside. Terry Johnson seems to have stabilized. Matt Milano has upped his game. Shaq Thompson's been solid. You have, hopefully Poirier can come back if Bishop has been good and the D-line's been okay. So I just think it's a tough game because I think the Jags are a very good football team. They're playing at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I don't think the Jags offense is necessarily the worst matchup for the Bills
No.
because they're not an offense that I think are just going to pound the Bills. Now, granted, that could still happen because the Bills are just not good at defending the run.
Sure.
I'm not saying that, but like,
But ETN isn't necessarily a running back like a track record.
they don't have as elite
It's not
of a
explosive.
run offense,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's
That's
not
what
as
I'm
explosive
saying,
as
yeah.
other teams.
So I guess that's a positive. But listen, they got some big time receivers that the Bills are going to have to do a good job of shutting down, especially Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm. You heard Sean McDermott. He basically gave a full presentation on him. Bless you. Gave a full presentation on him. Clearly shows he was studying up on him at some point in the season, maybe at the trade deadline, hoping something would happen, but unfortunately didn't.
Yeah,
So
so I mean that's important. And it's a concern. The kicking game is a massive concern,
Mhm.
right? You know, Cam Little had a really good year kicking for Jacksonville. Obviously, he made ridiculously long field goals. Matt Prater, it's like, do you really trust him to play, or do they need to call up, Matthew Wright? That's a waste of a practice squad spot, but I think that's why you saw the jumping around the roster, IRing Jordan Phillips, because I think they feel confident with how, Deion Walker's playing, how T.J. Sanders has been playing once they moved him back to defensive tackle. Daquan, I think they expect to have him back. You'll have either Ogunjobi or Phi Mathis, who have both been playing better recently. You'll probably call up like Andre Jones, to be like the fourth edge, right? So T.J. Sanders can go back inside. So I don't know. I think it's a fun matchup because Jacksonville again is a good team, but I think I think the Bills are good guys. Like I don't know what to say. Like I think the Bills get a really bad rap because while I don't think it's as good teams that they had recently,
Mhm.
they still listen. They have a really good offensive line. We have a really good running game. We have a freaking fantastic quarterback, and we have a defense that's opportunist. That can force turnovers, take advantage of the opportunities to put some pressure maybe on Trevor Lawrence. They do have, I think, a secondary. It's again, does this team have some fatal flaws? Sure. Like the kicking game scares the crap out of me. Like I don't trust. Matt Prater I kind of trust, but if Matthew Wright has to kick, like it's like you sign up Bills down to him kicking a 45-yarder to win the game. Probably not.
Mhm.
Like Prater maybe, but like
No.
Matthew Wright no. And
No.
so I think that's the concern in the run defense, and maybe are we fraudulent pass defense? Like, can Jags still do that? And the Jags have a really good screen game, which God knows.
Taxes and the Bills not being able to stop a screen
So-
pass. So yeah,
Maybe we'll see some Khalil Shakir screens.
we will. I mean, maybe bubble screens, right? I mean, that's the motto. Can we even say that anymore without getting pelted with snowballs or anything like that around here? If you mention bubble screen, you might get just, I don't know, thrown against the wall. But we're going to break down this game a lot more when we have the injury updates later this week.
Bills are favored.
Bills are favored. Technically, FanDuel has them minus 108 on the money line, so it's a pick 'em now. Even with the points, if you're not looking at the points.
Yeah, the points are yeah, it's basically pick up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it mine. Like yeah.
Yeah, minus 108. So it's a pick 'em between the two. The Bills were favored to start, but it has shifted. So we'll see. Maybe
the spread is not though. The spread is not. You still
no minus 1.5. The Bills. Yeah.
So I guess if you like Jacksonville, you might as well take the points.
Yeah, take plus 1.5 on Jacksonville. I would say, right?
No, you just take the money line. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah,
Why
it's probably better odds, right?
Money line would be better.
Yeah,
odds. What the
yeah.
hell am I talking about?
Take them to right. Yeah,
If you like the Bills, you might as well take the minus 1.5 because it's probably better odds.
100%. Yeah, we'll look on Friday. We'll look at the odds.
I mean,
we'll
that would make the most sense to me
because the odds will be more updated as the end of the week approaches.
A lot of home dogs. I think it's been that type of year in the NFL, right?
Mhm.
No one really knows how legit everyone is. Everyone has, I think in this day of social media and the constant looking at everyone's team and like everyone has to have like some type of hot take, like I think everyone's flaws get exposed and everyone's like, oh my God, this is what's going to sink them. And it's like, okay, well, let's see. Like I don't think anyone thought last year that the Bills were going to be sunk because, their cornerback opposite, Christian Benford was just going to happen to like, they're going to lose him on the first series of the AFC Championship game and have Kyer Elam, right? And that's what happened to the Bills.
Kyer Elam tripping all over himself.
So
secondary, yeah.
We'll see, man. I am very excited. I'm incredibly nervous because I don't know. There's a realistic chance this is. I mean, it's probably 50-50, right? This is a coin flip game.
It is a pick 'em, like legitimately.
Like,
I
would feel better if this was in Buffalo, no crap. But
100%.
This is in Jacksonville, and I think it's a 50-50 game. And
where they haven't won since 3 presidential administrations ago, pretty much. So
they've had some bad luck against Jacksonville in the playoffs.
when was the last wild card game? What day of the week was it, and what time? Jacksonville wild card game. The Bills played the drop breaker. It was Sunday at 1:00.
Ah, I said this to my dad. The Bills have not played a lot of games not on Sunday in the playoffs.
Nope, they've been a pretty standard Sunday 1, Sunday 4:25
Mm-hmm.
game. There's
So
not a
4:30
lot of prime time
Sunday or the
matchups.
6:30 Sunday game on the divisional. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I was talking to him. I was like, the only game I like. Honestly, I was like, well, the Baltimore game in 2020 was the night NBC game,
mm-hmm.
and I said to him, I think that's the last time a non-CBS team had the game.
Yeah.
The CBS likes the Bills.
They like the Bills. They like the Chiefs. They like a lot of their teams.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I know we want to get at the Sabres. It will be interesting to see if the Bills do win, and they end up playing the fourth. They end up having to go to Denver, and New England wins.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gonna get put on Sunday? They're probably gonna put on Saturday because the 4-5 they wouldn't be playing that team, and that team plays on Monday. So that team would probably have to play on Sunday. So the Bills, if that's something to look at, if the Bills win on Sunday and the Patriots win, the Bills are most likely playing Denver probably at Saturday night, I would assume.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to see.
All right. Yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna talk about it Friday or Saturday. You'll be hearing that, the Betting on the Bills episode, and we're gonna move into the Sabres. Quick little note on them before we wrap this one up and tie it with a little bow. We're gonna take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more on the other side. You're listening to the Buffalonian Podcast. Welcome back into the Buffalonian Podcast. Bills Jags, a little early preview looking back at the stadium. Now we look to the Buffalo Sabres, who went on a 10-game heater, lost one, and then now they're back in the win column. So they're already not doing what that last team that won 10 games did. So looking up, Tage Thompson is an Olympian. So is Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Rasmus Dahlin. So congratulations to you guys. So Finland, Sweden, and Team USA. So it's a the Sabres, I mean, trending up since everything's been going down, with the whole Kevin Adams and, when all the palm trees left the city, it seems people actually, that arena's full. So it's pretty interesting to see. And I don't know, they're in action tomorrow night against the Rangers in New York. So see if they can get another little back-to-back and maybe grow this one into another win streak. I don't know. It was fun to watch them win 10 in a row. You knew the slide, the loss was coming at some point. You just can't expect them to continue to win, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they lost 5-1, and that was like, okay, that was a bad. Like that wasn't
and then
great.
all of a sudden they're up 4-0 last night against Vancouver, and all of a sudden it's 4-3, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, but
no.
you know what the weird thing is? When that happened, I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, you know what?
You believed?
I believed. And 6 months ago, that game's over. That game's over in the other team's favor, without question.
6 months ago?
Yeah.
We're in July.
Okay, whatever. You know what I mean. In the beginning of the season, the state of that team, they would have rolled over, right? Where now they're pushing through and winning games, and they know how to play with a lead.
Battle of adversity.
Yeah.
They're a little battle tested. And I agree with you. I think the depth of this team is really strong at the moment. They got Zucker back. Do I love that they put Austin on the fourth line? No, I would have just put Krabs and probably put Zucker on the first line, but whatever. Yeah, I think it's really great. I think you're seeing a team that is not Dahlin dependent. And what I mean by that is, like, I always felt like, I think you'll agree with me, Joe, that if Dahlin didn't have a really good night, they were most likely like going to lose like 80% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's like
and they won without him at one point, which is good.
And you see it now of Power playing a lot better. Heck, even Byram has elevated his game. I think he had 9 points in his last 7 games or something along those lines. Like, those two guys have really elevated their games, and they get a lot. They're playing the right way. Tage is playing really strong. We'll see if Tuck, he I think had his best game in a little bit. So hopefully that's some momentum for him in his season. I love the Tuck and McLeod PK. Like, their PK is one of the best in the league. The power play is still just trash. I don't say, like,
yeah, they gotta. That's
I
death taxes in the Sabres power play being absolute dog water. I mean, that's pretty much it.
If I was Yarmo, and I was looking, because all the rumors are, really there's 2 rumors, right? There's the rumor, take out Tuck, just from the perspective of that, but like the rumors are like maybe they add a piece on the defense, right? Kesselring's been banged up. Timmins is still out probably 6 weeks with the leg. Maybe they add a piece. But you saw Mets score last night. I think Bryson's been pretty solid when he's played again. So they have some depth, but maybe
Mhm.
they're going to add a piece to solidify that in the back end. And they're also, looking around for a top 6 forward. And I think getting a guy like a top 6 forward who can also play on the power play and boost your power play, I think would be huge. And I think would be something that the Sabres need to look at, whether that's, Panarin, or
Mhm.
if someone's looking to, do a tuck trade where they
Yeah.
trade someone who has term.
I wouldn't mind Panarin, especially with the relationship already with
Mhm.
Kekalainen. So,
The only problem with him, I believe, let me double check, he's a free agent at the end of the year. So,
oh, they might.
again, you'd have to figure out some type of way. And then how would you do that with Tuck, or is Tuck coming out? I
Right.
know, and, Panarin is 34, so he's a little older. Maybe he doesn't take as much money in, a shorter term, but we'll see. I think Byram, it's weird. He's been playing so well. I don't know if they could really move him
Mhm.
because, Samuelson's playing really well. I love Darlene.
Casey Middlestat was playing really well at 1.2 for the Buffalo Sabres.
I know, but
you
it's
know,
just a
like
situation
that's
of,
my thought whenever I
I
think
know,
of
I
that.
agree with you, but it's like Kesserling being down and Timmins being down.
Yeah, you
Can
need.
you really afford to lose a guy that's playing so well?
Mhm.
Again, if it's a slam dunk, hey, we can trade him for a top 6 forward that helps their power play. Screw it, let's go.
Do it.
But I don't know if that's out there. So I'm listen. They play. This is a real opportunity for the Sabres, right? They're a point out of the playoffs. Halfway through the year now. Let's go. Like we play at the Rangers, and then we're home against Anaheim,
Mhm.
Florida, Philadelphia, Montreal, Minnesota. Like, that's 5 straight at home. Like, let's take care of business on the road against the Rangers. Let's get 2 points. Let's come home and let's go like 4-1
Yeah.
on home ice. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have all this momentum going into a road trip with Carolina, and then you're on the road for, I believe, five games after that. So like this is a big part of the schedule, right? 6 games right here, 1 on the road, 5 at home. If they're able to go 5-1, 4-2 in the stretch, like, that's huge. That's huge.
Mhm. And we'll see what they can do. They're able to, we're not banking on another 10-game win streak because that's just a little out of here. But if they can string a few together, Lindy's whole thing in the beginning of the season was 5 games at a time. Listen, if they continue, they're at the point now. If they win 5, like Lindy's 5, have you seen that website and everything? If they continue on this pace, they're at a 96-point pace right now.
Yeah,
to finish the season.
They're
so
back on pace.
They're
for the playoffs.
100%
Right?
dug themselves out
They
of that
dug
hole.
themselves out of the 10-game win streak. Now it's like, can you be better than a 96-point
Yeah.
pace? Right? Can you be like a 100-point? Can you be on like a 105-point pace and be a
Can you
100-point team?
actually build and improve and get into a spot?
Can you
Especially with the way
solidify?
the Atlantic is this year.
It's so like it's like 4 points. They're from 4 points to last place and whatever.
But they're also like right in a playoff spot almost.
Yeah,
so
so
it's so
you have
weird.
to keep winning, but maybe some of these teams fall off in front of you, and
Or they wake up
you're
and you
able to
got to
go.
really get ahead of them.
Yeah,
So
so-
it's gonna be interesting to see what ends up happening.
it's
here.
nice though to talk about the Sabres season and say, look at trade targets for this year. Like,
Yeah.
When's the last time the Sabres have been in the market for, like, maybe we trade for a rental? We throw a 3rd-round pick at for a depth defenseman.
Right. Exactly.
Right? I don't.
Not since we've been doing this.
I know.
Like seriously.
So
it's exciting times because when the Bills season inevitably ends, whether that be with a Super Bowl or not, there is something to look forward to and something to watch in the city.
that's not the Bandits.
It's
Love
not
the
the
Bandits.
I do too, but it's nice for the Sabres to wake up and actually
Mhm.
be interesting. So we'll see what happens with them, but we'll keep you posted on all of it as the NFL season concludes, as the postseason concludes. Excuse me, the season's over. Had to make that clear. As the NHL season rolls on and as the Bandit season rolls on as well. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Cali. He's Dom Loss. Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.